The Sefer of the prophet Baruch Shani, also called the second book of the prophet Baruch, also known as the Apocalypse of Baruch. Chapter 1. And it came to pass in the 25th year of Yahuah, king of Yehudah, that the word of Yahuah came to Baruch, the son of Neriyahu, and said to him, Have you seen all that this people are doing to me? That the evils which these 2 tribes which remained have done are greater than those of the 10 tribes which were carried away captive? For the former tribes were forced by their kings to commit sin, but these 2 of themselves have been forcing and compelling their kings to commit sin. For this reason, behold, I bring evil upon this city and upon its inhabitants, and it shall be removed from before me for a time. And I will scatter these people among the other nations, that they may do good to the other nations. And my people shall be chastened. And the time shall come when they will seek for the prosperity of their times. Chapter 2. For I have said these things to you that you may bid Yirmiyahu and all those that are like you to retire from this city. For your works are to this city as a firm pillar, and your prayers as a strong wall. Chapter 3. And I said, O Yahuah, my Adonai, have I come into the world for this purpose, that I might see the evils of my mother? Not so, my Adonai. If I have found grace in your sight, first take my ruach, that I may go to my fathers, and not behold the destruction of my mother. For 2 things vehemently constrain me, for I cannot resist you, and my soul, moreover, cannot behold the evils of my mother. But one thing I will say in your presence, O Yahuah. What therefore will there be after these things? For if you destroy your city and deliver up your land to those that hate us, how shall the name of Yasharel be again remembered? Or how shall one speak of your praises? Or to whom shall that which is in your Torah be explained? Or shall the world return to its nature of aforetime, and the age revert to primeval silence? And shall the multitude of souls be taken away, and the nature of man not again be named? And where is all that which you did say to Moshe regarding us? Chapter 4. And Yahuah said unto me, This city shall be delivered up for a time, and the people shall be chastened during a time, and the world will not be given over to oblivion. Do you think that this is the city of which I said, On the palms of my hand have I graven you? This building now built in your midst is not that which is revealed with me, that which was prepared beforehand here from the time when I took counsel to make paradise, and showed it to Adam before he sinned. And when he transgressed the commandment, it was removed from him, as also paradise. And after these things I showed it to my servant Abraham by night among the portions of the victims. And again also I showed it to Moshe on Mount Sinai, when I showed to him the likeness of the tabernacle and all its vessels. And now, behold, it is preserved with me, as also paradise. Go therefore and do as I command you. Chapter 5. And I answered and said, So then I am destined to grieve for Zion. For your enemies will come to this place and pollute your sanctuary, and lead your inheritance into captivity, and make themselves Adonai of those whom you have loved. And they will depart again to the place of their idols, and will boast before them. And what will you do for your great name? And Yahuah said unto me, My name and my glory are unto all eternity, and my judgment shall maintain its right in its own time. And you shall see with your eyes that the enemy will not overthrow Zion, nor shall they burn Jerusalem, but be the ministers of the judge for the time. But do go and do whatsoever I have said unto you. And I went and took Yirmiyahu and Adu and Keryahu and yhvh, and Gedaliyahu, and all the honorable men of the people. And I led them to the valley of Kidron, and I narrated to them all that had been said to me. And they lifted up their voice, and they all wept. And we sat there and fasted until the evening. Chapter 6. And it came to pass on the morrow that, lo, the army of the Kasdim surrounded the city. And at the time of the evening, I, Baruch, left the people, and I went forth and stood by the oak. And I was grieving over Zion, and lamenting over the captivity which had come upon the people. And lo, suddenly a strong ruach raised me and bore me aloft over the wall of Jerusalem. And I beheld, and lo, 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the city, each of them holding a torch of fire in his hands. And another angel began to descend from heaven and said unto them, Hold your lamps, and do not light them till I tell you. For I am first sent to speak a word to the earth, and to place in it what Yahuah Sebaot has commanded me. And I saw him descend into the Holy of Holies, and take from thence the veil, and the holy ark, and the mercy seat, and the 2 tables, and the holy raiment of the priests, and the altar of incense, and the 48 precious stones wherewith the priests were adorned, and all the holy vessels of the tabernacle. And he spoke to the earth with a loud voice, Earth, 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 hear the word of Elohim, and receive what I commit to you, and guard them until the last times. So when you are ordered, you may restore them, so that strangers may not take possession of them. For the time comes when Jerusalem also will be delivered for a time, until it is said that it is again restored forever. And the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up. Chapter 7. And after these things I heard that angel saying unto those angels who held the lamps, Destroy therefore, and overthrow its walls to its foundations, lest the enemy should boast and say, We have overthrown the wall of Zion, and we have burnt the place of El Elohim. And you have seized the place where I had been standing before. Chapter 8. Now the angels did as he had commanded them, and when they had broken up the corners of the walls, a voice was heard from the interior of the temple, after the wall had fallen, saying, Enter, you enemies, and come, you adversaries, for he who kept the house has forsaken it. And I, Baruch, departed. And it came to pass after these things that the army of the Kasdim entered and seized the house and all that was around it. And they led the people away captive, and slew some of them, and bound Zedekiah the king, and sent him to the king of Babel. Chapter 9. And I, Baruch, came, and Yirmiyahu, whose heart was found pure from sins, who had not been captured in the seizure of the city, and we rent our garments, we wept and mourned, and fasted 7 days. Chapter 10. And it came to pass after 7 days that the word of Elohim came to me, and said to me, Tell Yirmiyahu to go and support the captivity of the people unto Babel. But do remain here amid the desolation of Zion, and I will show to you after these days what will befall at the end of days. And I said to Yirmiyahu as Yahuah commanded me, and he indeed departed with the people. But I, Baruch, returned and sat before the gates of the temple, and I lamented with the following lamentation over Zion, and said, Blessed is he who was not born, or he who having been born has died. For as for us who live, woe unto us, because we see the afflictions of Zion, and what has befallen Jerusalem. I will call the sirens from the sea, and you, Lilim, come from the desert, and you, Shadim, and dragons from the forest. Awake, and gird up your loins unto mourning, and take up with me the dirges, and make lamentation with me. You husbandmen, sow not again, and O earth, wherefore give you your harvest fruits? Keep within you the sweets of your sustenance. And you vine, why further do you give your wine? For an offering will not again be made therefrom in Zion, nor will the first fruits again be offered. And do you, O heavens, withhold your dew, and open not the treasures of rain? And lo, O sun, withhold the light of your rays. And do, O moon, extinguish the multitude of your light. For why should light rise again, where the light of Zion is darkened? And you bridegrooms, enter not in, and let not the brides adorn themselves with garlands. And you women, pray not that you may bear, for the barren shall above all rejoice, and those who have no sons shall be glad, and those who have sons shall have anguish. For why should they bear in pain only to bury in grief? Or why again should mankind have sons? Or why should the seed of their kind again be named, where this mother is desolate, and her sons are led into captivity? From this time forward, speak not of beauty, and discourse not of gracefulness. Moreover, you priests, take you the keys of the sanctuary, and cast them into the height of heaven, and give them to Yahuah, and say, Guard your house yourself, for lo, we are found to be false stewards. And you virgins, who weave fine linen and silk with golds of Ophir, take with haste all these things and cast them into the fire, that it may bear them to him who made them, and the flame send them to him who created them, lest the enemy get possession of them. Chapter 11. Moreover, I, Baruch, say this against you, Babel. If you had prospered, and Zion had dwelt in her glory, yet the grief to us had been great that you should be equal to Zion. But now, lo, the grief is infinite, and the lamentation measureless. For lo, you have prospered, but Zion is desolate. Who will be judge regarding these things? Or to whom shall we complain regarding that which has befallen us? O Yahuah, how have you borne it? Our fathers went to rest without grief, and lo, the righteous sleep in the earth in tranquility. For they knew not this anguish, nor yet had they heard of that which had befallen us. Would that you had ears, O earth, and that you had a heart, O dust, that you might go and announce to Sheol and say to the dead, Blessed are you more than we who live. Chapter 12. But I will say this as I think, and I will speak against you, O land, which are prospering. The noonday does not always burn, nor do the rays of the sun constantly give light. Do not expect, nor hope, that you will always be prosperous and rejoicing, and be not greatly uplifted and boastful. For assuredly in its own season shall the divine wrath awake against you, which now is long-suffering, is held in, as it were by reins. And when I had said these things, I fasted 7 days. Chapter 13. And it came to pass after these things that I, Baruch, was standing among Mount Zion, and lo, a voice came from the height and said to me, Stand upon your feet, Baruch, and hear the word of El Elohim. Because you have been astonished at what has befallen Zion, you shall therefore be assuredly preserved to the consummation of the times, that you may be for a testimony. So that if ever those prosperous cities say, Why has El Elohim brought upon us this retribution? Say unto them, you and those like you who shall have seen this evil, this is the evil and retribution which is coming upon you and upon your people in its destined time, that the nations may be thoroughly smitten, and then they shall be in anguish. And if they say at that time, For how long? You will say to them, You who have drunk the straying wine, drink you also its dregs, the judgment of the lofty one, who has no respect of persons. On this account he had aforetime no mercy on his own sons, but afflicted them as his enemies, because they sinned. Then therefore they were chastened, that they might be sanctified. But now, you peoples and nations, you are guilty, because you have always trodden down the earth and used creation unrighteously. For I have always benefited you, and you have always been ungrateful for the beneficence. Chapter 14. And I answered and said, Lo, you have shown me the method of the times, and that which shall alter these things. And you have said unto me that the retribution which has been spoken of by you shall come upon the nations. And now I know that those who have sinned are many, and they have lived in prosperity and departed from the world, but that few nations will be left in those times, to whom those words shall be said, which you did say. For what advantage is there in this? Or what evil worse than what we have seen befall us? Are we to expect to see? But again I will speak in your presence. Who profited that had knowledge before you, and have not walked in vanity as the rest of the nations, and have not said to the dead, Give us life, but always feared you, and have not left your ways? And lo, they have been carried off, nor on their own account have you had mercy on Zion. And if others did evil, it was due to Zion, that on account of the works of those who wrought good works, she should be forgiven, and should not be overwhelmed on account of the works of those who wrought unrighteousness. But who, O Yahuah, my Adonai, will comprehend your judgment? Or who will search out the profoundness of your way? Or who will think out the weight of your path? Or who will be able to think out your incomprehensible counsel? Or who of those that are born has ever found the beginning or end of your wisdom? For we have all been made like a breath. For as the breath ascends involuntarily and again dies, so it is with the nature of men, who depart not according to their own will, and know not what will befall them in the end. For the righteous justly hope for the end, and without fear depart from this habitation, because they have with you a store of works preserved in treasuries. On this account also these without fear leave this world, and trusting, with joy they hope to receive the world which you have promised them. But as for us, woe to us, who also are now shamefully entreated, and at that time look forward only to evils. But you know accurately what you have done by means of your servants, for we are not able to understand that which is good, as you are our Creator. But again I will speak in your presence, O Yahuah, my Adonai. When of old there was no world with its inhabitants, you did devise and speak with the word, and forthwith the works of creation stood before you. And you did say that you would make for your world man as the administrator of your works, that it might be known that he was by no means made on account of the world, but the world on account of him. And now I see that as for the world which was made on account of us, lo, it abides, but we, on account of whom it was made, depart. Chapter 15. And Yahuah answered and said unto me, You are rightly astonished regarding the departure of man, but you have not judged well regarding the evils which befall those who sin. And as regards what you have said, that the righteous are carried off and the impious are prospered, and as regards what you have said, man knows not your judgment, on this account hear, and I will speak to you, and hearken, and I will cause you to hear my words. Man would not rightly have understood my judgments unless he had accepted the Torah, and I had instructed him in understanding. But now because he transgressed wittingly, yea, just on this ground that he knows thereof, he shall be tormented. And as regards what you did say touching the righteous, that on account of them has this world come, so also again shall that which is to come on their account. For this world is to them a strife and a labor with much trouble, and that accordingly, which is to come, a crown of great glory. Chapter 16. And I answered and said, O Yahuah, my Adonai, lo, the years of this time are few and evil, and who is able in his little time to acquire that which is measureless? Chapter 17. And Yahuah answered and said unto me, With El Shaddai, account is not taken of much time, nor of a few years. For what did it profit Adam that he lived 930 years, and transgressed that which he was commanded? Therefore the multitude of time that he lived did not profit him, but brought death and cut off the years of those who were born from him. Or wherein did Moshe suffer loss, in that he lived only 120 years, and inasmuch as he was subject to him who formed him, brought the Torah to the seed of Jacob, and lighted a lamp for the nation of Yasharel. Chapter 18. And I answered and said, He that lighted has taken from the light, and there are but few that have imitated him. But those many whom he has lighted have taken from the darkness of Adam, and have not rejoiced in the light of the lamp. Chapter 19. And he answered and said unto me, Wherefore at that time he appointed for them a covenant, and said, Behold, I have placed before you life and death. And he called heaven and earth to witness against them. For he knew that his time was but short, but that heaven and earth endure always. But after his death they sinned and transgressed, though they knew that they had the Torah reproving them, and the light in which nothing could err, also the spheres which testify, and me. Now regarding everything that is, it is I that judge, but do not take counsel in your soul regarding these things, nor afflict yourself because of those which have been. For now it is the consummation of time that should be considered, whether of business or of prosperity, or of shame, and not the beginning thereof. Because if a man be prospered in his beginnings, and shamefully entreated in his old age, he forgets all the prosperity that he had. And again, if a man is shamefully entreated in his beginnings, and at his end is prospered, he remembers not again his evil treatment. And again, hearken, though each one has prospered all the time from the day on which death was decreed against those who transgress, and in his end was destroyed, in vain would have been everything. Chapter 20. Therefore, behold, the days come, and the time shall hasten more than the former, and the seasons shall speed on more than those that are past. And the years shall pass more quickly than the present years. Therefore have I now taken away Zion, that I may the more speedily visit the world in its season. Now therefore hold fast in your heart everything that I command you, and seal it in the recesses of your mind. And then I will show you the judgment of my might, and my ways which are unsearchable. Go therefore and sanctify yourself 7 days, and eat no bread, nor drink water, nor speak to anyone. And afterwards come to that place, and I will reveal myself to you, and speak true things with you. And I will give you commandment regarding the method of the times, for they are coming, and tarry not. Chapter 21. And I went thence and sat in the valley of Kidron in the cave of the earth. I sanctified my soul there, and I ate no bread, yet I was not hungry. And I drank no water, yet I thirsted not. And I was there till the 7th day, as he had commanded me. And afterwards I came to the place where he had spoken with me. And it came to pass at sunset that my soul took much thought. And I began to speak in the presence of El Elohim, and said, O you that have made the earth, hear me that have fixed the expanse of your word. and have made firm the heights of the heavens by the Ruach, that have called from the beginning of the world that which did not yet exist, and they obey you. You that have commanded the air by your nod, and have seen those things which are to be as those things which you are doing. You that rule with great thought, the hosts that stand before you. Also the countless holy beings which you did make from the beginning, of flame and fire, which stand round about your throne. You rule with indignation. To you only does this belong, that you should do forth with whatsoever you wish, who cause the drops of rain to rain by number upon the earth, and alone know the consummation of the times before they come. Have respect unto my prayer, for you alone are able to sustain all who are, and those who have passed away, and those who are to be, those who sin, and those who are righteous, as living and being past finding out. For you alone do live immortal, and past finding out, and know the number of mankind. And if in time many have sinned, yet others, not a few, have been righteous. You know where you preserve the end of those who have sinned, or the consummation of those who have been righteous. For if there were this life only, which belongs to all men, nothing could be more bitter than this. For what profit is the strength that turns to sickness, or the fullness of food that turns to famine, or beauty that turns to ugliness? For the nature of man is always changeable. For what we were formerly now, we no longer are. And what we are now shall not be afterwards remain. For if a consummation had not been prepared for all, in vain would have been their beginning. But regarding everything that comes from you, do inform me, and regarding everything about which I ask you, do enlighten me. How long will that which is corruptible remain? And how long will the time of mortals be prospered? And until what time will those who transgress in the world be polluted with much wickedness? Command therefore in mercy, and accomplish all that you said you would bring, that your might may be made known to those who think that your long-suffering is weakness. And show to those who know not that everything that has befallen us and our city until now has been according to the long-suffering of your power. Because on account of your name you have called us a beloved people. Bring to an end therefore henceforth mortality, and reprove accordingly the angel of death, and let your glory appear, and let the might of your beauty be known, and let Sheol be sealed, so that from henceforth it may not receive the dead, and let the treasuries of souls restore those which are enclosed in them. For there have been many years like those that are desolate, from the days of Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov, and of all those who are like them, who sleep in the earth, on whose account you did say that you had created the world. And now quickly show your glory, and do not defer what has been promised by you. And when I had completed the words of this prayer, I was greatly weakened. Chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things that, lo, the heavens were opened, and I saw, and power was given to me, and a voice was heard from on high, and said unto me, Baruch, Baruch, why are you troubled? He who travels by road but does not complete it, or who departs by sea but does not arrive at the port, can he be comforted? Or he who promises to give a present to another but does not fulfill it, is it not robbery? Or he who sows the earth but does not reap its fruit in its season, does he not lose everything? Or he who plants a plant, unless it grows till the time suitable to it, does he who planted it expect to receive fruit from it? Or a woman who has conceived, if she brings forth untimely, does she not assuredly slay her infant? Or he who builds a house, if he does not roof it and complete it, can it be called a house? Tell me that first. Chapter 23. And I answered and said, Not so, O Yahuah, my Adonai. And he answered and said unto me, Why therefore are you troubled about that which you know not? And why are you ill at ease about things in which you are ignorant? For as you have not forgotten the people who now are, and those who have passed away, so I remember those who are appointed to come. Because when Adam sinned, and death was decreed against those who should be born, then the multitude of those who should be born was numbered, and for that number a place was prepared, where the living might dwell, and the dead might be guarded. Before, therefore, the number aforesaid is fulfilled, the creation will not live again, for my Ruach is the creator of life, and Sheol will receive the dead. And again, it is given to you to hear what things are to come after these times. For truly my redemption has drawn nigh and is not far distant, as aforetime. Chapter 24. For behold, the days come, and the seraphim shall be opened, in which are written the sins of all those who have sinned. And again also the treasuries in which the righteousness of all those who have been righteous in creation is gathered. For it shall come to pass at that time that you shall see, and the many that are with you, the long suffering of El Elyon, which has been throughout all generations, who has been long suffering towards those who are born, alike those who sin and those who are righteous. And I answered and said, Behold, O Yahuah, no one knows the number of those things which have passed, nor yet of those things which are to come. For I know indeed that which has befallen us, but what will happen to our enemies I know not. And when you visit your works. Chapter 25. And he answered and said unto me, You too shall be preserved till that time, till that sign which El Elyon will work for the inhabitants of the earth in the end of days. This therefore shall be the sign, when a stupor shall seize the inhabitants of the earth, and they shall fall into many tribulations, and again when they shall fall into great torments. And it shall come to pass when they say in their thoughts by reason of their much tribulation, El Elohim no longer remembers the earth. Yea, it will come to pass when they abandon hope, that the time will then awaken. Chapter 26. And I answered and said, Will that tribulation which is to be continue a long time? And will that necessity embrace many years? Chapter 27. And he answered and said unto me, Into 12 parts is that time divided, and each one of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it. In the first part there shall be the beginning of commotions, and in the second part there shall be slayings of the great ones, and in the third part the fall of many by death, and in the fourth part the sending of the sword, and in the fifth part famine and the withholding of rain, and in the seventh part earthquakes and terrors, wanting, and in the eighth part a multitude of specters and attacks of the Shadim, and in the ninth part the fall of fire, and in the 10th part rapine and much oppression, and in the 11th part wickedness and unchastity, and in the 12th part confusion from the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. For these parts of that time are reserved, and shall be mingled one with another, and minister one to another. For some shall leave out some of their own, and receive in its stead from others. And some complete their own and that of others, so that those may not understand who are upon the earth in those days, that this is the consummation of the times. Chapter 28. Nevertheless, whoever understands shall then be wise, for the measure and reckoning of that time are 2 parts a week of 7 weeks. And I answered and said, It is good for a man to come and behold, but it is better that he should not come, lest he fall. But I will say this also, will he who is incorruptible despise those things which are corruptible? And whatsoever befalls in the case of those things which are corruptible, so that he might look only to those things which are not corruptible? But if, O Yahuah, those things shall assuredly come to pass which you have foretold to me, so do you show this also unto me, if indeed I have found grace in your sight. Is it in one place or in one of the parts of the earth that these things have come to pass, or will the whole earth experience them? Chapter 29. And he answered and said unto me, Whatsoever will then befall the whole earth. Therefore all who live will experience them. For at that time I will protect only those who are found in those selfsame days in this land. And it shall come to pass when all is accomplished, that was to come to pass in those parts, that Hamashiach shall then begin to be revealed. And Behemoth shall be revealed from his place, and Leviathan shall ascend from the sea, those 2 great monsters which I created on the 5th day of creation, and shall have kept until that time. And then they shall be for food for all that are left. The earth also shall yield its fruit 10,000-fold, and on each vine there shall be 1,000 branches, and each branch shall produce 1,000 clusters, and each cluster produce 1,000 grapes, and each grape produce a core of wine. And those who have hungered shall rejoice. Moreover also they shall behold marvels every day. For winds shall go forth from before me to bring every morning the fragrance of aromatic fruits, and at the close of the day clouds distilling the dew of health. And it shall come to pass at that self-same time that the treasury of manna shall again descend from on high, and they will eat of it in those years, because these are they who have come to the consummation of time.